Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
It's time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent His messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears, that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose, but by them understanding through those who have become messiahs to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion. That is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness by giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look to our soul, we see nothing but a star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle, which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and in the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 405th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace here on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute, Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond, and I am your host once again in this weekly series of ongoing continuous workshops for many years now. And once again, we are joined with the members and support members of the Universal Council who will be presenting today's program. And I'll just prepare that program and we can begin. Oops. I think we have an intro with either Mark or Marinez today.
Or Dean.
Or Dean, but he is here now. Good point.
Mernez, would you like to begin?
Yes, thank you very much. So I welcome anybody to this new program today for peace. And I always talk about peace because I remember Mr. Keshe said, peace is the prerequisite before we can completely, equally pass the knowledge to all humanities. And before man can go to space and use the knowledge to prosper in the space. At the time, we thought it's away from all the time we live, but little by little, we get used to the idea, and with tree eye and things which we see in the sky, we think that a space is coming to us. And we see that space is nothing to be afraid of, but it just opens up the new possibilities. And as Mr. Keshe says, we are learning the things that even some of the physicians don't know about it, because the whole physics of Einstein is based on a theory which doesn't work with what we are learning now as far as mass and energy, because they didn't know about the energy function in the universe. So we are all happy and positive and enthusiastic, and every week we wait for something new which would add to humanity. Maybe they add to the intelligence of the man. We see the world is having more heart. The young people, the masses, are waking up to justice, to compassion, and that is all the prerequisite for the changes which are so close. And so we go on, we do with the sessions of transmutation, we do with teachings of every week, and Mr. Keshe gracefully gives the knowledge, the age of knowledge every day to us, and we understand each one according to our intelligence and a little bit by our efforts. And but the peace side is not that difficult. Anybody can use the ethics of Mitra, which is do good, think good, and talk good. And that's available in every second of life. We can think something good, at least something good for ourselves, or we can think of something bad for others, for ourselves. So that's our, now that we know that we have the education for that, it's just up to us to choose what our future will be, because what we do creates our future. And so I welcome you again, and I'm happy that you're here and people are watching this program. And I give it to Mark, if he wants to add to this introduction.
Sure, thank you, Bernice. And again, we're here to create peace within ourselves and then within the bigger structure as well. I think we can work on our own peaceful environment, creating that peaceful environment with the thinking, speaking, and acting. This is the ethos of Mitra. But in the bigger picture, in changing humanity, how are we going to get from here to there? Well, as we heard in the last workshop or the one before that, there's many, many things going on in the background. And energies and other systems are being introduced to this planet. At this point, most are not aware, but certainly the knowledge seekers are aware of these energies or these harmonics. Apparently, there's a non-harmonic and a harmonic, which is apparently at the strength of the amino acids of the man, which of course will change the DNA and will touch the energies of the soul. So yes, we can work on ourselves and we can support systems coming from 3I perhaps, and also within the structure of the Keshe Foundation, known as the One Nation Network. So there's a well thought out plan to achieve the one planet, one nation, one race for peace. Although we're not completely peaceful yet, we're heading in that direction. And I think we're all moving, or again, as we've heard, we're going to make a peaceful man out of the man. So, and it is such a, and most of this work, again, is going on through our energies or through our wishes, rather than operating in the matter state, in the political arena, or in the rest. So it's through the energies, and this is one of the tricks we've fallen for. We thought that will bring the change in the matter state, or maybe I did, and but we know that the energy dimension is much more effective and instantaneous in a way, reaching or touching. And this is such a beautiful place in the universe in the matter state, but the living conditions are still quite harsh. So this new network that's being set up will make it an easier place to live, a much, much easier place to live for all the inhabitants on this planet. So this is where we'll start to see the new strength in the soul of the man start to appear. And of course, it is the elevation of the soul. This is the key to serve, and not building something so much in the physicality. But it's for each one of us to explore and understand. So welcome you all to the beautiful environment of the energies of this dimension that we're just becoming aware of. We can work in, play in, and operate in, and elevate others in this dimension. Dean, would you like to add anything?
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Marinette. Yes, thank you, Mark. I'd like to introduce and say thank you to everybody for being present in the moment and being here to listen to these teachings of the Foundation, the Universal Council, and all the people, all the souls that are present and have understood some of this, some of these teachings. And I was listening to an interview recently, and there was it made me realize that the understanding of some scientific applications are, they've gone down a certain route that is it's a belief that they have, and they follow this position, and like all beliefs, it's very difficult to let go of, to transition to another understanding. This knowledge being shared and you know, as a gift to humanity is higher in its energy force, in its strength, in its understanding than has been present on the planet before. Mehran has mentioned about 3I. We know that this vessel is orbiting around the sun and has had various interactions. And according to Mr. Keshe in the teachings, these interactions may lead to more interactions in a very substantial way. Now, these souls, remember, none being higher and none lower, are going to interact with an intelligence, with a understanding that is above probably humanity's in these moments. And these wonderful, beautiful creatures, souls, you know, all the wonderful souls that are present, you know, in many, many different shapes and forms, and many shapes and forms and other dimensions that humanity has not directly understood. And this is going to be part of the ongoing communications and understanding for humanity to step into. But we're going back to what that interview I was listening to. It was all very physical. The understanding was totally a physical interaction, and much emphasis and financial power was being put into the physical side of it. These teachings, these understandings from the Universal Council, from Mr. Keshe, are in the energy state. It's a plasmatic condition. It's like the 3I thing, when it's changing its form and changing its directions, and many scientists don't understand this. And yet, for the knowledge seekers, we all understand this simple propulsion system that is been taught to the knowledge seekers, and some of them have even made them and interacted with them in many, many different ways. And but that's in a physical form too, some of them. They have interacted without knowing on a soul level. Or perhaps they do know, perhaps they realize this. It's the soul of the man that when you open this up, this space gap of understanding, this energy flow of all that is, back to the actual creation point. You know, this Mr. Keshe spoke about it, you know, if you're this gel, the creator being a gel, you know, so you could visualize this as the gel of your brain, and go inside it and find the creator inside there. And according to the understanding, funny enough, there is a creator that sits there. It's called the soul of the man, and it's connected to everything. It's part of us, and will always be part of us. Even if we no longer are physical, we are still connected to the creator, because it's within us, it's outside of us, it's within the environment, outside the environment. It's the totality of being present in the moment. And these understandings and these teachings are elevating and enhancing humanity to come to the position of understanding the beauty of being part of the creation. So welcome to the One Planet, One Nation, One Race. We look forward to all of us receiving the knowledge and the understanding from all the beautiful participants and all the wonderful souls that are present from the Universal Council, giving their love and care and their guidance to each and every one of us, so we feel it, so we understand it, so we realize we're all part of it. Thank you all. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, and then we have the World Peace Treaty, which is a document you can find, a very simple document, a deep document, which is part of the ethos of the Keshe Foundation, where we're here to serve and not to be served. So the World Peace Treaty, we as citizens of the earth from this moment on, accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. We shall never think about getting involved or incite war or develop or use any tools of war on this planet or in space. And to this we all agree and swear with our nation, our territory, our council, our religion, our city, our town, our body and soul. And again, the World Peace Treaty has been sort of couched as something between you and your soul. And of course, we already know the soul is peaceful, so it must be the soul of physicality. And the physicality, as Mr. Keshe said, we need to move it closer to the behavior of the creator, where the creator doesn't kill and doesn't steal anything to exist. And we can achieve that position through systems and through other energies to bring about this elevation of the soul of the man. And as we heard, the service becomes the key to this whole process, not building something in the physical dimension. So you're welcome to sign the World Peace Treaty. There's actually a document that you can find where you can actually sign it and sort of create a reactor of peace even between yourself and that little piece of paper. You don't even have to sign it. You can just use your intention, and this can bring about the peaceful condition. But I've wished to be more peaceful. As Mr. Keshe indicated in one of the recent workshops, we haven't become the true men of peace yet. Even in the last workshop, saying our hands are still rather red with blood and other things. And this is the actual document you can find on the Keshe Foundation. And on most search engines, just put on Keshe World Peace Treaty and you'll find it. Again, there's a place for you to sign if you want to, but as we heard in the introduction, I'm sure you'll never find anything written once you go into the universe, but you can approach it the way it pleases you. And you can also display this, and I think this will give others the strength to start to think about how peaceful am I? Am I truly peaceful? And as we know, there's still a lot of slaughtering going on and harvesting of other entities on this planet, which I never thought was an offense, as I believe the holy books say, and I was given dominion over every other creature, that I could do what I like with. But now we're learning a different ethos where we have to respect once something has been made into the love of the creation, or what we call the soul, it has to be respected and it has to be sacrosanct, and we have to allow it to continue without releasing its soul, even though people have different philosophies on this about putting that entity into a bigger structure by consuming it. But I don't think we need to go that way. At least for myself, if someone wanted to devour me and offer me the I could be part of their structure, I don't know even if that offer was on the table if I'd accept that. I certainly don't like to and I don't think any other creature wants to be taken out of its structure. So again, this is between you and your soul and how it pleases you and how you work it out and how you start to become more peaceful. But again, we can create that environment, as we heard, the way the 3I does, just by the thinking, speaking, and acting good. You'll create that sort of energies around you where wrong things, and maybe wrong things still could happen to you, but for the most part, you'll create a beautiful emitting of those kind of energies, as well as a protection of negative energies sort of invading your structure. But we're learning this process. Again, we're not fully there, but we're certainly on the road to get there. And there's going to be systems provided through the Keshe Foundation and other ways to help us achieve and to clean up our sort of red hands, if you want to put it that way. I've never looked at it that way, but since the Keshe Foundation, and even in the beginning years of the Keshe Foundation, I could hardly grasp how you could feed yourself without eating. But now we're understanding more how our structure works, and there's only a small gap. And this seems to be our biggest offense, is the stealing of energies and releasing souls of others, which I never contemplated in my entire life. And I certainly have never heard it out of any of the religious people for the most part, even though in some areas of the world they do respect certain cows or certain other things. But we know that everything needs to be respected. So we're starting to learn this here and not waiting till we go into the universe. As Mr. Keshe said, if you wait till that separation or for the final call, you're going to have a lot to learn to operate in that dimension. But I guess you still can. So this is the World Peace Treaty, again, between you and your soul. And then people will feel that. It'll touch other souls. And especially the way we create the Dome of Peace on this planet. And this is part of the work which will announce that you can join the rest of the knowledge seekers in the energy dimension. And again, pulse those good emotions of freedom, of peace, and of kindness, and all the other good energies that world leaders and the rest of us need on this planet. But again, we're receiving a lot of help in the background, many, many things going in the background to make this change come about.
I'll just mention, Mark, that on that same website that I posted in the chats, besides the World Peace Treaty, which is, as you mentioned, you can see it immediately on that website. But if you scroll down, you'll see 4 documents that are PDFs. One is the World Peace Treaty. When I click on that, we get the clear document that can be downloaded, and people can print it off better than from the website itself. And another document called An Insight into the Future of Man on Earth, which is an interesting document that I think we've discussed here at one point. We don't need to say it all right now. And also The Status of Scientists, which is another PDF. That's an important PDF that Mr. Keshe has put together in defense of scientists of the planet. And another document on the signing of the World Peace Treaty and World Peace Conference, with a number of comments pertaining to the World Peace Treaty and so on. So just to say that those documents are available on that same website, and it seems becoming more and more important for people to consider signing that World Peace Treaty, if not in the physicality, then in their heart and soul. And maybe I wondered if you could address briefly, Mark, or others, this idea that comes up that people aren't willing to sign over their soul, let's say, to this idea of never using any tools of war and not thinking about war and so on. They can see signing a document like that, like any sort of referendum or something, but to sign with your soul, some people think they've reserved their soul for their religion or for Christ or something like that. So how do we reconcile? And even you mentioned, Mark, that you wanted to retain your entity as a soul and not give it over to another bigger soul or some other entity and so on. So how do we reconcile that? I know we've addressed that question here before, but I think it's something that comes up quite often with people. They have that resistance to the whole idea of signing over your soul.
Well, I think the soul is already peaceful. Remember what Mr. Keshe is saying. We're trying to get the lion and the lamb to eat and sleep in the same nest.
Yes,
so
right.
The soul is already peaceful, a perfect gentleman, as I understand it. It needs maturing in certain areas, apparently, but it is perfectly peaceful. But where the lion comes in, of course, is this physicality and soul of physicality, which is where the greed and the rest of these problems. So this is why we're trying to, so maybe it's between your physicality in a way and your soul. They're both aware of each other, but they have a rather uncomfortable at certain points relationship where the soul has to observe all of the shortcomings of the physicality and the soul of physicality. And the soul of physicality is trying to reach the energy level of the soul, but doing it in a sort of a backwards way. So I think, again, only you know where you're short or what your status is. And this is what we need to all move that problem closer to the behavior of the creator. So again, I don't think you're pledging your soul. You're just the physicality, and the soul of physicality is agreeing. It may not be there. This is a process, but it's agreed to want to be in that position of peace and balance. rather than mayhem, confusion, and greed, and struggling and fighting in the matter dimension, let's say.
That's a good answer, I think.
Okay. Anyone else, please? Again, this is just my understanding.
Well, that's, I think, a pretty good one. And that this document kind of brings that struggle to light, you could say, and within each of us. And we're kind of forced to have a look inside, and what do we really believe, and what do we really think, and can we make that connection between our physicality and soul, so that we can at least have them agree on a peaceful place to operate within this planet.
Right. And the slaughtering of animals will be one of the first things that starts to reduce, I think, on this planet, and the harvesting of the grains and so on, because we'll be fed in a different way. As we heard, we can't ask you to stop eating without giving you something to replace it. So this is what's being worked on. And it's through the One Nation Network. I believe that this feeding program, in a way, or feeding plasmatically, will be delivered. And the satisfaction, again, it's very hard for most people, they would say, well, how am I going to live if I can't eat something? But as he said, with these visitors coming in, where is their mouth? Where is their stomach? It sounds like we may not find that, but yet they've traveled millions of years or however long across the universe, or have been continuously doing this cycle, and they look in pretty good shape. So there may be some secrets they'll share with us as well about feeding through the fields before the fields or the rays are created into a plasma, and then we know the physics and the chemistry and the biology, and then the creation of the soul. So the idea is to feed off the pure, untainted souls before they become the love of creation. So we'll always be addicted to these energies, in a way, as I see it. Same way the Creator feeds. And if he made the man in the image of himself, we should be able to do it. And as he said, it's not only the man, I made the whole creation in the image of myself. So all of the created beings, whether we can see them in the matter state or not, will have this ability. And probably many of them already do, as we know with the vertical people, which we call the plants, have that ability to create a field around them and basically not run to the supermarket or not run to the refrigerator or freezer and still feed themselves. So we have a lot to learn even from the plants, I think.
And we also have lots of tools of peace being developed at the same time to help offset these tools of war. So we have friends in many dimensions, you could say. All right.
Great. We're being brought into the universal community. And this is, are we ready for it? This is the question Mr. Keshe continues to ask. Is humanity ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mark, Rick, may I say something?
Please.
So this is a really incredibly important document, and it's very simple words. But when you actually look at the words, like the world, peace treaty, we is we, all of us, is I, we. Citizens or citizen of Earth, of this planet, that's of Earth, as we all know. From this moment, these words are incredibly important. Every single word has a field strength, has a mass, has a way of interacting with us. And if we spend some time in the moment absorbing this energy that is written in this document, you will find that you will find a way to your creation, to your creator. So you have to accept to lay down all tools of aggression and war. And there's that word again, we, I, shall never think about getting involved or incite war or develop any tools of war on this planet or in space. There's many ways to incite war, Remember, from an atom to a universe. So these words can start very, very small. They start very, very small, very innocent little emotion that, that sort of rises up within us. And then it grows, and we feed it maybe sometimes some intention or more emotion. And this becomes something that then, is focused upon and becomes even more. So that seed of intention is so important. And then we get to nation, territories, council. Every single one of these words has so many meanings. Religion. I mean, we could spend the rest of our lives on that one. City, town, body or bodies, and soul, the soul of man. And then we get to the name. Remember the name that you were given by your parents. Did any of you sign up for your name? So this name that we give all our energy to, and we give it all away without realizing. And this is nothing to, I'm not speaking politically or anything like that whatsoever. I'm talking purely on a field strength dimension of understanding from the creation point, my tiny little bit that I've come to understand or not. Then you have a signature, and you sign your energy into your name that may not even be, has a field strength that you've received. And maybe through your lineage or through something else is the reason you've received this name, and it carries a field strength. It carries, the essence of the souls that have, experienced a physical state and a soul state before us. The date. That's a planetary thing. Outside in space, we've been told by Mr. Keshe and the foundation, date is irrelevant. They don't exist. Position. What position do you give yourself? Do you allow yourself? Do you accept or not? Do you put yourself higher than anyone? Do you become humble and make yourself lower? And even this, if you become the lowest, you may be stealing from yourself. And then on behalf of the nation, so you're signing yourself again, territory, council, religion, city, town, individual. And then we need another to witness it, another soul that has all those field strength of interactions, all those cosmic ray interactions within their field strength. And then they sign the document. So if we go back to the understanding of the seed of intention, so from this moment, accept and lay down all tools of aggression and war. And then we sign that with our name, with our field strength of how we feel about ourselves, how we represent ourselves in the physical form. Do you think that we are called this in an energy form? Do you think we have a name, Dean or Mark or Rick? Any name, do you think we have a name? And do we sign it with a pen? As Mr. Keshe said, you won't see many people in the universe that sign anything with a pen. And then this position held, the date again, the position held. The position held is the field strength of the soul of the man that is experiencing something in these moments. And if you set the seed of intention for peace, the World Peace Treaty, imagine the amount of souls that you come in contact with on that level because you've decided in that moment to interact from a seed of intention that's correct. And imagine all the interactions that then take place because you're interacting on that field strength. It changes the whole perspectives, the whole dynamics, the whole field strength, the emotion, everything that you set. So in the moment, you can change anything. You can redirect and become and have an understanding that brings about peace. And then it says here, after signing this treaty, we know many people have signed treaties. Many people have signed treaties in the past. And then one side decides to not uphold this treaty. It's signed with good intention, and then some other interaction happens, and whether it's to do with land or financial or whatever, the intention changes, the treaty changes, and then you walk a different way and you interact in a different way. And then that leads back to all these words that have been spoken about here in this peace treaty, about signing it with your soul. And whether you sign it with a pen and actually put it on the wall for all to see, or you proudly and from the soul of you, from the very inner part of you, this connection to everything, you sign it. And it's not giving your soul away because you have a religion. It's not that. As I spoke about earlier, your name that was given to you, your religion, where did that come from? Did you learn that? Or was it, did you sense that? Was it within you? Is it, part of your very being? Or was it on a soul level? This knowledge is on a soul level. It touches the very essence of creation, as I spoke about earlier, and it is an addition to the knowledge. And we all feel it. I know we do. We all feel it because this is directly from the Creator. So be proud to display this certificate wherever you consider being important to you, that everyone can see and know your ethos. If we had this in the ethos put everywhere for all to see, and for a field strength to emanate from yourself to show what you are, and by the way, this is exactly what happens outside of this planet. You are seen before you're seen, and you're understood, and this is what's happening now. You can't hide behind a name. You can't hide behind a tool of war. You can't hide behind a door. This is the essence of creation. All is seen and all is known in the moment. So your ethos to your fellow men. So your ethos just to the human race, let alone all the created creatures and all the other souls that are present with us. And then the mankind and other created beauties of the Creator. And that's the part that we're coming to now. These interactions are, the beauties of the Creator. And just because we haven't experienced it in a physical form or haven't seen it in a certain way, doesn't mean it's not a beauty. We just have to have an understanding to understand ourselves and sense it from within. So please sign this World Peace Treaty for yourself, for your very soul, for your very being, to bring those three wise men into line, those thinking, speaking, and acting in the moment. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rick. Thank you.
If I may add a little bit, this is MOSFEC. About signing with your soul and the peace. The peace starts in a way at home, and this is the balancing between soul and soul of physicality and physicality of within us. But soul's scope goes much beyond, much further beyond the containment we call our physicality. As we connect with other souls, other life forms, we recognize their rights, their desire to exist as they do, then how can we take that right away by assuming that we are superior? What an arrogance. What a foolish arrogance. Nevertheless, we can grow from here by signing with our soul. That means our soul, we become more aware of our soul and other souls. And actually, this is not something theoretical. When you fast, certain capacities within ourselves starts to manifest. Certain capacities, naturally they become available if we pay attention. So the energies that we receive from our food, some of it, they're suffering of giving up their life for us. Is it good for us? Or is it part of our suffering away from peace? So this is not something that we are just saying for the sake of saying. It's something we can all feel. And as we feel further by moving away from eating, we see that their peace is our peace. Our peace is their peace. Or we are all in it together. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Moshfek. If there's no further comments, we'll get back to our previous program here. This is some very interesting comments on the World Peace Treaty. Let's move into, I believe, let me double check here and make sure I'm on track. There we go. Yes, I've got a video to play on the true nature of energy and mass. It's from the 616th Knowledge Seekers Workshop from last Thursday. And I will play that now.
We have entered a phase of understanding the work of the universe that is essential for us to understand this part, as it's part of the creation, which is the creator of the man and man ignorant of his knowledge. And without it, life doesn't exist anywhere in the universe. And understanding it in full gives the key to the way everything in the universe is created, seen and unseen, and what is, which is not to us. And by seeing one, we can do and get to the other side. I explained this to a knowledge seeker once, and you understand how one reaches this point. When I was in my final year in Queen Mary College, the teaching was very straightforward, one-to-one. I sat across the table with my professor across, and we were taught one-to-one what was on the edge of the nuclear industry and what we were supposed to know. In the last couple of lectures, Professor Leslie said to me, you're going to get two questions. Either one of them you answer, you'll get your, what do you call, the mark. And he said, you know which one you're going to get. The teaching is very straightforward. I went to the exam room, opened the paper, and it was the two questions. Whole term of studying, understanding was sitting in front of me. And it was a process of the nuclear, what we call reactor system, with many, many bits to it. And he said, can you show this position to this position, critical condition of nuclear reactor, whatever it was, to get to this result? I could not do it. But I knew this was the final. So I started from the back to the beginning. In a way, I wrote the result to the top, and I went back to reverse to the question. It's just because I knew from one end will go to the other, either end you start, you go back to the other side. It was huge calculus and everything else, integrations, and you have a dimension of expansion of a reactor in different dimensions, time, space, and everything else. In a way, at that time, I realized I understand fully exactly how the plasma works. You give me in the matter state, I go to its energy, and from the energy, I can come back to matter. How nuclear reactors, fusion goes, and fission hands over, and seeing the reactor, this question. And this is exactly where we are in the science of man. We know one end. We haven't learned how to go to the other and what is needed to change. Part of this problem, especially in today's science of man, is the fault of Einstein. He brought deliberate assumptions as part of the work of misunderstanding the science. Energy equal whatever, whatever. If you put all assumptions and miscalculations he did to write this down to get to this point to make himself famous, has brought the same pattern. The science of today does not understand where the energy is, where the mass is, and where the speed is. You don't need to change much. It's just you have to understand has nothing to do with the speed of light. It's a connection between the energy and mass. If Einstein would have not made such a stupid mistake, which has brought the science backwards for decades, and we cannot get into the head of our scientists that speed has nothing to do with, if you understand the true dimension of energy and mass. You consider gravity, which he ignored. You consider what we call dimension of the expansion of the, what we call the energy. He ignored, and everything else, in a way, goes back to what it is, what we explain energy, magnetic field in motion. And then when you stop it, the motion of it, then you have gravity. You get solid state, you get mass. And as simple as that, but you have to bring every other questions into it. And this is where the world of science today, most of our geniuses are hitting the block. All you have to do is take out this stupid assumption of what Einstein did and then put it in front of a 2-year-old child, explain to them the energy and explain to them gravity and the mass, and then you are, what's got to do with the light? But if you plan something to do, it's like pi 3.14 blah blah blah. Whatever you do, you have that what we call factor into it, so it works out to be MC squared and the rest of it. And this is where most of us as knowledge seekers have to become aware of how misguided we have become. And because one ignorant Jewish guy in the name of Einstein and the rest have brought him to be very big because they wanted to have somebody equal somewhere else. And then we saw the British repeated with the same ignorant with Stephen Hawking going through the same thing. Ignorant people, people who have no knowledge of creation, have become the symbol of science. As I said, I was talking to a lawyer very recently. If the world of science did what NASA is trying to do with Van Braun, deleting his name and his work from most of the works in the background, they cannot delete some of it, that he became the father of space of United States, then we get these two off the record, and then we start with a new science of our children in the schools understand the relationship between the magnetic field and the mass. Nothing to do with the light. And then if we understand that mass and its energy inertia has in a lot to do with the expansion of the magnetic field, then we understand everything to do with the world of creation. In a way, the easiest way for you to understand, to taste the plasma, to understand how it behaves, give it the temperature and give it a bit of pressure, is get a bowl of jelly. Make another running jelly, but a better tough jelly, and put it in your mouth and squeeze it. See how you feel. If the energy and the taste is in the dimension and this expression of the emotion with some scent or whatever, you enjoy this pressure and the taste of a strawberry, for example. You squeeze it a bit harder, see where it expands, where you feel the pressure in your mouth, and then you understand, oh, this place has like a mass. Then, if you understood this, you come to understand the most amazing thing about the world of creation. If you go back to past 2 or 3 days of teaching, weeks of teaching, I speak about frequency and the pulse, and how you bring a plasma into condition of the wave, magnetic field, and creation of the fields. Is it too hard for you to understand how creature was and how creator is? Very simple. Get the brain of the man. Add a frequency and a pulse to it. It's a plasma. It gives you emotion. It gives you expression. It converts into motion. And in a way, if you want to understand the real true essence of the understanding of the work of the what we call creation as a plasma, as a world of creation of magnetic fields, you have it in front of you. A little bit hard jelly, and you hammer it with a heartbeat. What does it create? Magnetic field, emotion, life. Then you understand man has not even understood the simplest things about his own creation, let alone tries to explain the anomalies about everything else. You get excited, you run, your heartbeat goes up, pulse increases, which is that pulse. Fear makes you run. Love makes you run. You convert the energy of the emotion into motion, physicality. Does it have anything to do with the speed? Or is it just a conversion of magnetic fields, which you call it emotion, which came from the pulse on a jelly substance, which you put it in your mouth, but it's now is your brain, and what do you get? Mismatch it where the inside pulses, physical condition is higher than the outside, you get the brain hemorrhage. You create new magnetic fields faster, which in the conversion to matter blows up the energy of the cell of the body of the brain of the man. Paralysis. Physicality damage. Conversion of the energy cannot be converted into mass in the physical dimension of the run, or conversion of the emotion gives you burning of the brain cells, and as simple as that. Volcanic eruption from the center of the universe gives the hemorrhage to the man who does not understand it. There is no difference. Without the pulse, there is no life. There is no condition to create. You come across your lover and you want to be with, and the heartbeat goes up and the brain comes in a different pulse emotion. The same heartbeat creates love, creates attention, creates every other emotion, where the same heartbeat in a different, what we call pulse, created the running, the fear, and the rest. Fraction of the seconds in the change of the pulse, in the change of the frequency, creates different reaction in physical dimension of the man, emotion-wise and physical-wise. How hard is for the man to understand the difference between the energy and mass? And then if you understand this, and you can convert one back to the other, knowing where you are, what is the end products, and understanding where you started, then it comes to a very simple solution. It's back to the exam room. The teacher gives you the beginning and the end, and he says, get from there to there, because you know how you do. After pages and pages of formula, you still put it down because you know the way. And this is where our science has got stuck. Our people don't see from one end to another because they only see one end, and one stupid man has stuck it to that point, has put a string attached to their leg and nailed it to a starting point. As I said very recently in a meeting, if, and what we've seen in the past 2.5 years, with a bunch of ignorant criminals creating mayhem, killing tens of thousands, and stopping the humanity to progress, we've seen the same thing slaughtering the mankind in the science by one man, and they're both Jewish. Criminality under the name of a religion, in science and in race. Now you understand the process where we have made a mistake, where we have to understand. When you have this amazing equation, the stupid guy said E is equal to MC squared, just throw it into the bin and understand very easy. Energy is equal to mass. Depends if you take it as magnetic field in motion or taking it magnetic field in a stationary condition. Inertia attached to nothing but itself. If you squeeze the energy, you get a wave which has a physicality, which is the mass. What's got to do with the light? Because you have not understood everything else. A magician has fooled you. If you understand this point, if you understand how easily energy, which is in plasma condition, under condition of a pulse, creates the emotion, which gives you a condition of a mass, then you understand only you need two factors. One, a constant, which is the initial, the total energy of itself, and then what strength field this energy reaches to another point in respect to the condition of. When a man becomes a man of space and universes, you come to understand the masses are different in a mass matter condition or in a mass energy condition. The mass energy condition, it depends on the process of the creation of the creator, where the mass as we have, and we say the mass is constant in every point in the universe, is not the same in every point in the universe. Because in the universe, the relevant energy is the energy from the magnetic field in motion of the creator, not out of the interaction of. Because the condition is dictated in that universe by the universe magnetic field strength. In a way, if we understand it, energy, as we call it in this universe, is conditioned to the universal mass energy, not universe mass energy. And once the world of science understands this, man finds the key to travel across universes, let alone universe. In a way, the energy plasma condition created for this universe is conditioned in the total condition of other universes plus the energy which comes from the center, which we call the original creator. So our energy, which is the mass plasma of the totality itself, is product of another interaction. In a way, that energy is the mass, and the mass we get is the weight condition of the location of the universe in that universe. Once man understands this and understands how to connect it, allows man to travel in the universe at the speed of the travel in the universes, with the addition and understanding the condition of manifestation in that inertial position in the universe. You also what we created in Beijing in May. With small changes, we would have produced different material because we changed the condition of the environment mass. This is where the problem sits. This is where the world of science has to move on. And once we understand, nothing in the universe can be magic. It's just finding which part between the head and the tail in the equation of conformation we set. It's very simple. When you understand, in the condition of plasma, in the condition of matter, what affects what and what you have to calculate, everything else becomes simple. In the matter state, you call it the pressure, the temperature. In the energy state, you call it the magnetic field strength. The condition and composition of the fields, which leads to manifestation of the mass. As I said last week, you see a flat, waveless water of the ocean. Has no manifestation and is constant. And there it comes, somebody pushes it, a boat passes, a wind comes, and then pushes the mass in one point. And what you get is the waves that they can destruct, become tsunami and the rest of it. What pressure you put in one place shows itself as a mass in another place, which in the interaction of the masses create massive damage The same applies to the wind. The same applies to the energy, where its magnetic field in motion in the life of the man is the wind in motion. Then, when you understand this, nothing in universe is unique. Nothing in universe is any different than the working, understanding, the condition of the pulse, the condition of the frequency, the condition of the interaction of what pressure applied in a magnetic field, condition, field strength, which creates a matter state in the matter state. Energy of an atom and how it manifests itself as atomic energy. One is yin and one is yang, and they are interconnected. And where the separation has come is the lack of understanding of the knowledge of creation by man. Exactly as has been how and where magnetic field of the earth changes from gravity going in from the South Pole and coming in the North Pole. How does it change? It doesn't change. It's the same thing. Body of the planet is solid and the field rotates. But for a man, one is North Pole and one is South Pole. In fact, it's the same thing with the creation of the universe. It's the same thing with the creation of the plasma. It's the same structure in the atomic structure, magnetic field of electron, proton, and everything else. If world of science, the way you knowledge seekers understand, works in a way of the connection of magnetic fields and understanding when the second interaction of the environment leads to mass, then the whole equation of the creation is complete.
All right, that completes our excerpt from the 616th Knowledge Seekers Workshop last Thursday, November 13th. Let's see here. Okay, let me get back to my program once again. All right. So next we have what's called the wishes, and I'll remind our audience that we'll have a full minute of silence in order to allow you to ponder and activate the wish. And you see, I think we begin with Moshfegh.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of this planet to receive the offerings of the universal community, and also elevate our guests to receive what we must learn to offer as a host.
Mariners, would you like to go ahead with this one?
I don't see anything new.
I think you have to flip to the next one, Rick.
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you. We, the Universal Council, give from our souls collectively for peace in the world and acceptance of the new plasma technology by the leaders. This is our wish, and our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, give from our field strengths to empower the world leaders to negotiate and sign the World Peace Treaty, pledging their nations to a permanent and everlasting peace on this planet. And our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal Council, wish for financial
for the Keshe Foundation and my Ray Corporation to be distributed accordingly as one planet, one nation, one race, as like a one soul.
We, the Universal Council, share our unconditional love with Mr. Keshe to protect him with the love of the Creator. Our wish is our command. We are present.
We, the Universal
We,
Council, elevate the souls of the leaders and the soul of the universal visitors to understand the transmutation of the soul while humanity learns from the visitors their uses of the plasma, cosmic ray technology, providing mutual benefits and satisfaction to all of us. And our wish is our command, and we are present.
we, the Universal Council, give through our souls to all souls in existence to elevate in level of understanding the ethos of Mitra, universal love. Uh, we have to go to another wish. Uh, yes, we, the Universal Council, give through our souls to all souls in existence to elevate in the level of understanding the ethos of Mitra, universal love, living life as a peaceful being, respecting all life and living equal. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Join the soul of man with the soul of physicality by speaking these words in this moment. I love you, my soul. I live you and I love with you, and I adore you. And see what the soul will give you back. In fact, this is showing how we can communicate with our soul of man from our soul of physicality and appreciate the life we have together. And so then the goal of all our efforts is that our soul of physicality is in harmony with our soul of man. That's like an ocean which has no waves. And we do the soul connection after that. The goal of soul connection is that we use the energy center of each of us to connect with the energy center of those who are with the same ethos, with the same goal. And together we create a synergy that we fix on the goal of peace, of prosperity for man, love, light in the world. We are created as the image of God, and we deserve more than these wars, these poverties, these injustices in the world. And we hope all the religions believe that one day we'll have a teacher, universal teacher, who comes and brings justice and peace in the world. And a lot of people, some Iranians, mostly Iranians, some Buddhists, some Hindus, Krishna avatar they're waiting for, some Christians waiting for Christ, some Jews waiting for Messiah, because the humanity has ups and downs to learn how to grow, to become stronger. And when we become stronger, we are worthy to come to the universal community. So when we connect our souls, first we learn that our soul can expand and go out. Secondly, we learn little by little that our soul is not nothingness. Our soul, our intention can cause the events, can cause the mass, can cause the situations in the future. And thirdly, we have a part in future society to have peace. Okay, today I do it in my native language is Farsi language. I do the cell connection and just a moment of peace, and then we continue. سلام برای ارتباط روح‌های امروز. یکم شرح میدم که روح انسان چیست، روح بدن انسان چیست. روح بدن انسان روحی است که در بدن، اطراف بدن و مسئول کارهای بدنی شخصی، مسئول کارهای سلولهای شخصی. هر سلول یه روحی داره و یه روح مسئول تمام این روح‌های بدنه. به یک روحی در مغز سر هست که بسیار بسیار قوی هست و وقتی که انسان این دو روحی که در بدن هست و روزمره به کارش میبریم عمدن یا سهوا، و اون روحی که در مغز هست، این دوتا با هم هارمونی داشته باشن، با هم یکسان باشن، انسان به اون درجه اعلای به اصطلاح آرامش خواهد رسید. ما از این روحمون چیکار میکنیم؟ برای استفاده میکنیم برای دعاهایی که میکنیم برای صبح. اینجا ما به جای اینکه لغت دعا رو به کار ببریم، لغت دادن از روحمون، چون روح یک چیزیه که داده میشه، گرفته میشه، و هرچی ما این مگنتیکال حالت دهنده مغناطیسی روح رو به کار ببریم، وقتی برمیگرده بیشتر میشه. پس ما از روحمون با روحهای دیگه که همسان ما فکر میکنن برای صلح وصل میکنیم، یک دقیقه آرام میشنیم، یک پرانتزی رو باز میکنیم، نفس به راحتی میکشیم و میگذاریم که روح ما، احساسات ما که جزی از روح ما هست و با دیگران که مثل ما هستن و دنبال عدالت، رفاه بشر، سلامت و سعادت هستن، با هم جمع بشن. وقتی که اینا با هم جمع شدن، تمام این ایده ها رو فکر میکنیم که هستیم در دنیای هستیم که صلح هست و تکنولوژی بنیاد کشه که برای بهتر کردن زندگی آدم هست از طریق رؤسای دولت ها قبول شده و برای مردم به کار میره و در این حالت یک چند لحظه رنگ میکنیم و روح ها با هم در تماس. متشکرم. این یکی از وسایلی است که ما در بنیاد استفاده میکنیم برای اینکه روح‌ها به هم وصل بشن و آنچه رو که هدف و ایدال ما هست، یعنی صلح بشریت و بهتر کردن زندگی مردم پیش بیاد. بعد هم هر روز ساعت 9 شب به وقت اروپا، الان میشه 11 به وقت تهران، تمام روحامون رو با هم وصل میکنیم و برای این آرزوها تمرکز پیدا میکنیم و یک مقداری در اون حالت میمونیم. و یعنی هر 3 ساعت یک بار از ساعت 9، 12، 3، 6 غیره با روحای دیگه تمرکز پیدا کنیم و یعنی هر موقع که دلتون خواست از روحتون برای صلح در دنیا و آنچه که خوبه و در شأن انسان است آرزو میکنیم. خیلی ممنون. It was the soul connection in Farsi, and in fact I was talking about how when we give from our soul it comes back bigger, and how we can use that to get to our objectives little by little as the time goes, as the humanity gets ready and we do our job. We put our smallest stone on this building to create peace and to wish that man gets to where it really deserves. Also, we connect our souls every night at 9 p.m. if we wish. And then every 3 hours from 9, which is 12, 3, 6, etc., we can gather ourselves together for the same wishes. And also we can just give from ourselves anytime that the leaders accept the technology, accept to develop the technology for the betterment of life for this generation and the generations later. and open the uh, door to go to space. Thank you very much.
I have you up for the invitation to the soul connection here as well, Marinez.
We, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present at the earth to unify the soul level every time and give through our souls to all souls in existence to elevate in level of understanding the ethos of Mitra, universal love, living life as a peaceful being, respecting all life and living equally.
Okay, thank you, Marinez.
And I want to thank Mernez. This was her original suggestion. So thank you, Mernez. And as we heard in that opening video, it's the soul of the collective. By giving, will create that position of change. So we're just sort of awakening, in a way, the soul of the collective that they participate in this process. Again, and you can do it anytime and all the time. But collectively, we're meeting at the 9 p.m. CET time. So thank you for your continued participation in this process.
And talking about participation in the process, here's a short video from Mr. Keshe regarding becoming a Universal Council member.
There's something which I should have made an announcement. As we are structuring and in a new development of the Keshe Foundation, is worldwide application and implication. As we set up the structure for Universal Council, a number of Universal Council members have become old and they reach the age of 60, and they served during the 60 years. They are there till 61. To run the functionality of the operation of the what we call energy dimension, the Universal Council members, if you want to become, please consider and let your soul decide of any languages around the world, as these will be announced very soon internationally, and we expect the souls to serve. And if it's from the knowledge seekers who understand the technology with dimension of the soul, you can apply to be added to and become a member of the Universal Council. The Earth Council is appointed by the Keshe Foundation on the grounds of structure of the nationality, understanding the culture, that there is no prejudice by physical dimension of the borders. And so if you feel your soul is there to serve humanity in expansion and the growth of it, just apply for it at the Keshe Foundation, or send the email to info@keshe.foundation, say I would like to be a member of the Universal Council. We receive this regularly, and now we're going to expand this very rapidly due to what is to come and what is to be done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear. I also want to add that welcome to Keshe Foundation, and to join the Universal Council and Universal Council support membership, my dear beautiful souls from every corner of this world, so to enlighten this planet in every nook and corner. No more darkness anymore. This is the time to serve, beautiful souls. And I will say, as humanity is transmuting, we are going to help. We are helping. We are all universal souls. This is our duty, I will say. our responsibility. So you are most welcome to join, helping transmuting humanity to merge with the universal community. And I can say universal love. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear. Salam, namaste, salute. Thank you. And here we invite you to connect with a member of the Universal Council and Universal Council support member to send us your questions to be answered live each week or the needs of the community. As everything is coming in the newness, so the Universal Councils also. So, my dear beautiful souls, as we are all knowledge seekers, learning to be peaceful more and more, day by day, moment by moment, everything, all that is one soul of peace, as Elizabeth says. So, you can interact in the Telegram of different language communities of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Have your say, dear one, advise, teach us. We will also do the same to you, as we are all loving beings. So please do that. Thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much. Thank you for joining as one soul of peace. Salam, namaste, salute, beautiful souls.
Okay, thank you, Sweta. Excuse me, my presentation seems to be extra sensitive to the mouse here, and every time I touch the mouse, it jumps around on the presentation, so bear with me on that. But the next part of our program here is an excerpt from the 616th Knowledge Seekers Workshop regarding some of the announcements and the network systems, and about Mark Ray in particular. And this is almost a half-hour program excerpt, so keep that in mind. It's 28 minutes, and we'll play that now.
Maybe I can mention something which is very important to us. We have received a beautiful gift from one of the knowledge seekers, which will change the course of the work of the Keshe Foundation, especially in what we set out to do, to make what we call man not having greed for material state like gold. This opportunity will change a lot of things for us, and we could not even imagine we could have such a gift. And I would like to thank the individual from the bottom of my heart, because it allows us to make gold literally worthless, that so many men have died for. It allows us to create a condition of the what we call production in a mass, that man will not have more value for it. And it brings a condition of peace. And as we announced in Market Corporation announcement last week, production of material, this becomes like any other material, and it loses its position and power, which many have killed for. And I'd like to thank the knowledge seeker for making this phase of the work so beautifully easy for us. And I hope we can deliver in what we set out with this, and as fast as we can do, and we are making every arrangement for it to become part of, once it's in our hand, and to bring the change. It's a massive boost in our work and creating the condition of peace. And in a way to bring that world peace one step closer, because now we can create that condition. And it's just a gift from what I call the soul of pure soul of our knowledge seekers. And it allows us to bring that change for the first time. We're in that position to do it without relying and looking for somewhere to receive, to be able to do. because they were a lot happy that they had a lot of gold in. I have 2 spoons from the May exhibition, and it had gold material in it, and there's nothing left in there. I was searching for it a couple of days ago. See, where is the material in this spoon? It's gone. And I was wondering, okay, it's gone. Let's see, what's the reason? Yes, you know what happened. I have bags. I put these spoons in the, what do you call it, compartment in the section where there's much more of. So yes, I've transferred everything without, unknowingly in a way. I should have kept them separate. Depleted. I cannot show anyone this is the material we produced in May and there's nothing in the spoon, because I have transferred energy into the other materials which were in the same, what we call, box. We have to understand the principle, and then we understand the answer. We find that solution. And this is it. By the way, the cosmic ray pulse will be part of connection to equal in value to cash coins in exchange. And in a coming soon time, will be connected to the same value as the shares in Markley, which means you can exchange anything amongst knowledge seekers as part of the internal structure of the Keshe Foundation. Your coin with a cosmic ray ball, your cosmic ray ball with the shares in Markley Corporation. We'll accept equal shares to the same value by the Keshe Foundation in specific pre-agreed conditions, which puts one share at about €1,000. But this is part of the structure with the government, and then in a future time we explain how. But internally, Keshe Foundation will put its own shares, which we hold some 2.9 billion shares in option and holding, as equal value to the cosmic ray and the cash coin, which means governments and individuals can internally exchange for the value of the same. And I think the most valuable thing to hold is cosmic ray balls, because we'll explain how much they're worth, much more than what is on the paper. We will limit the delivery of the cosmic ray balls. We think there's enough of it. We put a few more in the in sales to keep the limited edition structure for the value of what it is. Dispatched the second batches. There are 10 at the moment, I think, which has been going into with the developers testing. 25 will go out in next maybe 2-3 weeks maximum, because the part of the software, everything is set up now. They are finding the limitations and how connections is. So 25 of you will receive, and as I said to the developers in the past few hours, we try to get to every continent a number of these to see what the pitfalls are, any correction, what we need to do, because our developers are finding some problems with some countries, with some networks. So the ones which have been in work at the moment are in the hand of the developers, which is, I think, about 437 and 310 here. 25 will go out. And those of you who receive 25, please keep it confidential. Don't let anyone know that you received it. We ask you, and we'll add the paper to it. You are in a way the first phase of the testing. We'll run this for about maybe 3-4 weeks to see each one we can control remote and everything else. And then the second batch of 100 to 200 will leave, because we have to be 100% correct. We found a problem with one country in reaching the systems, and is trying to sort out this problem. And for example, we have a position. If any of you has a connection to the internet system and Starlink of a mosque, we were told there could be a person in one of the Eastern Bloc countries. If any of you has the Starlink with the mosque and landline with a, what do you call it, plug-in system, and a separate Wi-Fi, it has to be different IPs. Get in touch with us. We need more detail. We just don't give it to you because you say you have. We would like to test this with the Starlink, with the system of mosque, how it works and how it can interfere, how we can breach the what we call the firewalls and the rest of these things. So if you have such a facility that you have both access to the what we call the normal system connection and one with has to be different one in the same household, we are interested to bring you into participation of testing. But it has to say company. No one should know you received this. And even those thousands of you which received these units should never divulge it to no one. Because it's part of, in a way, you're part of a network. And just keep it that way, that we can strengthen and secure this. Don't forget, large number of the shares in this structure will go to government and individuals around the world. And we have to keep it safe at the same time. So it will be the only coin which, if it gets stolen, we replace it. So in a bigger shape, if any, even if our servers are taken down, we have a backup that bring it up to support it, and then backup to the backup and the rest of it. So it becomes impossibilities to lose and to hack and to steal, because first of all, when you steal, we can block it. Secondly, you never lose money. Nobody can. This habit of stealing and destroying will go out of this situation. We automatically replace any stolen coin. So it's not worth stealing, because the one who stole it automatically through the control system will be blocked out. It's no use robbing us and we stop these things. No country can steal. It's not worth stealing. It's just worth living through the structure of the cash coins. It's so you will receive 25 of them once the factory hands over to us and we go with our programs. Will come to you. Australia, South America, South Africa, couple of African countries, India, Iran, some European countries, Canada, United States, and some of you who live in remote islands, knowledge seekers, we would like to hear from you that we can spread. No matter Hawaii, if you are part of the islands in Pacific Ocean, you would like to know, but you have to have a continuous access to internet. This is the condition. Don't take it up that you always have a fear of if I can pay my internet cost. These are long-term commitments to the whole humanity. It's not just unit just to be there. And it has to work, it has to be there, it has to be active. Because if our system sees it in activity, your 2 coins 0.4 stops. So in a way, you're responsible to see it operational. Put it in your will, pass it on to your children, and put it that it has been, not when they empty your house when you passed away to throw the system away with it. They have to understand there's a value to it. And it's for the humanity.
Mr. Keshe, there is a question. A Hispanic knowledge seeker asked if the annual interest in the One Nation network system is that applicable to those that buy the Keshe coin, or only those who buy the Keshe coin with the One Nation network system?
It only applies to One Nation network.
Right.
Only applies to One Nation Network because in a way we pay you for holding, servicing, or whatever. And there's a lifetime to these, and it needs to be replaced or whatever, maybe in 5 or 10 years time. But we back it up, and technology is moving so fast that most probably in 5 years time there'll be a new development in the structure of these systems. The prices from the manufacturing has increased. We might increase these units in the next few days. As you know, due to the shortage of chips, the prices has jumped drastically around the world. And most probably within the next few days, we increase the price to 2,500 to cover the massive increase we received in a double digits from the suppliers of the system. We'll increase the price to 2,500 most probably in the next few hours, few days, as to what do you call it, to the shortage of chips and the games played by tariff game has affected us in receiving the units, and the cost of the units has gone up drastically in hundreds and hundreds since we placed the order.
Antonio again. If I got one Keshe coin, if I donate that to you, would that help?
The Keshe coins are structured in the process of the Keshe Foundation. It's all there. Yes, it can do. Or is the other is. Those of you who have market rate shares, please make sure you're secure with it. And please make sure you stay, because there's going to be an evolution in the market rate shares by market rate or by shares of the Keshe Foundation. And make sure that you're fully everything in hand. That, as I explained earlier, and we have a target as part of the joint collaboration and part of the same structure of our shareholding. I am shareholders of the Keshe Foundation and answerable to all the structure of the Keshe Foundation in what and how we invest. And we have to protect the investments of the Keshe Foundation as a shareholder in Markray. And when I speak to you as knowledge seekers, you are shareholders with us. You made it to happen. And it's not to affect the price of the shares in Markray, but in a way, as a CEO of the Keshe Foundation, I report to you as knowledge seekers who build and support us to build this structure, to please protect your shares, make sure that everything is correct, as the valuation will affect the true structure of the Keshe Foundation very soon. We rule by knowledge and not by speculation. Any other question? In a way, as you said, if we can take one coin, we have many knowledge seekers buy coins and in the process exchange it for different services and products of the Keshe Foundation. We facilitate for that in our process. So you just don't buy a coin, or you don't buy that it goes up and down. Is as it is with cryptocurrencies, one day is zero and one day is hero. We keep it as 1,000 and we exchange it internally as is internal coin, and not into cryptocurrency levels are playing. And it's the only coin which pays by itself interest to itself. And it's important to keep this. And as I explained before, in the very near future, we give a coin for the number of, in a way, structured coin per birth. When you in the West, you give a birth to a child, the government gives you so much for expenses. Keshe Foundation will give the coins for living. And at the beginning, there'll be some abuses, but after a while, it'll settle, because it's the future of the child. Is the child born to live, not born to fight to live? And To do that, we have to create a continuous process that is connected with all the nations, which goes into the Barclay structure, which connects to the coins, because once you become a market shareholder, according to the signed agreements, you have access to our intellectual rights and everything else which goes with it, and become member of the Keshe Foundation, which you apply, or the structure of the valuation of the coin is connected to it. So automatically shares are connected to coins, and the coins are connected to the materials, and one planet, one race, one nation, one currency, and one piece is the structure of the market corporation under the, what they call the leadership of the Keshe Foundation as a majority shareholder. And we keep this, and will increase what we call our influence in this. You'll see it in the next coming time, because the process has already started. And we are not there to influence the price or the position of the market. We, in these teachings, we report to our true shareholders, which is you knowledge seekers, what is our position. We can't call a private meeting, all the knowledge seekers come. This is our private meeting, this is Keshe Foundation meeting. And we inform you of what is our position, will be our position in this respect. And not to influence, because when you hold the shares of a company, a public company, in a structure, in a family, or in another company, by share of a company, the board of directors and the shareholders of the company have a say in what to do with the shares they bought. And they're in that position with you lot. We tell you what we're going to do and what we see. And our target is not to manipulate, our target is to bring a correct system. My plan has been from the outset to change the market corporation into IMF of the world, which means all the nations are partners in it on equal basis. Any support, financial support for any project, is done by the foundation through market corporation for the benefit of humanity, and on the equal basis. And with it, we make the payment and currency of the, what we call Keshe Foundation, as part of the corporation of the assigned agreement with market corporation. It's all rights and intellectual rights which market has accepted in exchange for the shares we took as the shareholders of the Keshe Foundation into market. So we dictate, and we have a say how we give the shares, and we have it because we decide as a board of directors what we do. And as I said, Keshe Foundation will allocate large shares, equal shares to all the nations as part of the market corporation. We have already negotiated with two governments, and gradually, in a way, if we give 1 million shares to a nation, for the government, or not the government, to a nation as a whole, is different when we give coins to the children of the nation. One controls the balance, and one controls the spending in within the structure. It's well planned. We are already in it, and the process cannot be stopped. We are internal currency. We don't go into the cryptocurrency. And when all the nations work within that currency, it automatically becomes international coin. And for balance of payments between nations, guarantees for nations to provide services, but cash coins and the guarantees of Barclay, it'll become a feature. I explained this morning to, what do you call it, earlier on to people who were in the meeting with. You don't need to go to the World Bank. You don't need to rely on the dollars and euros. When the cash coin, when the market corporation signs an agreement to support, is paid by all of us towards it. At the moment in the country, you have a socialist structure. Now we bring the social structure for every living man on this planet. It takes time. It's not a dream, because it's already started. It's a dream when you talk about it. It becomes reality when you're in it, and then you see the effect of it. will make cash coin an international balance structure. You have your local monies and dollars and euros and rubles. When you need to run to work, it'll be that way. And it's taken time. You've seen the units which are coming in. You've seen the coins which are what you buy. You've seen the what you call the balls. You've seen the structure of the market. These are not coincidental. Everything is planned. It just needs time, step by step. Step by step. And we are 40%, 30% there. The rest of it will come on its own. You accept the shares of market corporations and nation, you sign yourself to peace. And you abide by the technology of the Keshe Foundation to create a peaceful nation. Simple as that. If we give 10 million shares to one nation, and €1,000 is 1 billion, and it's more income than 40% of the nations around the world.
Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information...
We had a question in our Q&A from UC Host 1. Says, we are producing translations and videos of your workshops in several languages. These are available if needed as part of the materials to support and or preserve the knowledge you provide, which will become part of the One Nation network system in various languages. So where should it be sent?
Hold on to it, carry on doing it till we set up the system, till the units are spread, and then the what we call webmasters or IT sections will start doing loading up. Don't carry on doing it. There's a lot of literature. Thank you very much for what you're doing. There are people who are working on AI. A group was set up, and I don't know what happened to them because we just leave it to them to do it. And so there are people who are doing different languages. We support in every way possible, but well, hopefully next 2, 3, 4 years, we'll set up a structure for this in a full way. One of the things, this was set up to become, if you remember, the company still exists, we're keeping it that way, like Keshe TV was set up as part of this till we hit a massive fraud. Now that the fraud case is back in court in December, and hopefully we can recuperate, everything goes back on the track, what it is and what's that. And I'm sure sometime in December we report back to you, especially those of you supported us, how the courts in Austria will decide on the future of these two guys or people who've been arrested and are in custody, and how much of the funds can be recuperated. And we have situation we sit with a bank which were part of the structure of the fraud. The funny thing is, 2 major banks in Europe work this way to defraud their clients, and they're part of it because they hold accounts for different whole frauds. And this case in court in December is the beginning of a massive opening of the fraud by the banks. And we'll see. Whatever comes to us, what we need, we take. All goes into the Keshe Foundation. Has to go, because at the end of it is what we set out to do. We didn't make palaces and what do you call it, temples. We made research centers and factories to help and so forth. And it has to go back on the same way, but in a more wiser way. Sorry, just one thing. There was a question. There's a question. If we are carrying on with the monthly session, we run the monthly sessions for development of the technology Once we move to the next phase of the development, once these units go into operation and then we provide our antennas with, we'll come back with a few monthly sessions to test these systems. And then we'll ask you, well, if you want to join for those monthly sessions. But for the next 2 or 3 months, we don't put anything on because we have to do our work. We learned a lot. Our system has to come into operation, and then we bring back in transfer of energy transmutation using the systems by feeding you or sending everything in the background is ready, especially for the food and the energy and everything else. We have set up all the things for it. It's on the table, and just is getting everything correct with these units that we can start testing our transmutation systems and our additional technology to demand technology. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Okay, and that's the excerpt from the 616th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And we'll go back to our presentation. And actually, I think we have the knowledge and understanding from the 616th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. That is the last one. And with Stefania.
Rick?
Hello?
Stefania is here. I'm saying Stefania is not here. So we can skip today, knowledge and understanding.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
So next
Thank you.
Thank you, Sweta. Next we'll have the presentation for the Christmas Mystery Packs, it's called. Again, this is an excerpt from the 616th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. It's about just a little over 5 minutes. So we'll listen in on that now.
The reason we promoted these is just that the gases used in these structures are specific for peace and balance of soul. And we would like for those of you who receive it, use it as decoration as you do with lights or whatever on your Christmas tree. Observe the changes in your family and even yourself in how these bring changes by the end of the festival season. How when these are sold as a package, you give one to one member of family and now to the other, you put one in one side of the house or to the other, and see how your connection changes with the people who you give a gift to and or within the household. Because you put the Christmas trees away, you put the decoration away. These are ornaments that can sit anywhere around the house. And then it can bring the change in the household. In a way, in every essence of it, you bring a change. There is a very limited number of 2 games which we have especially put into this series. One is a chess game, which is the game of war, to win, to kill. But we brought in the ingredients of the material, this is the picture you see now, the essence of peace and balance. In a way, I wonder those of you who hold this, you play with this, would you find another dimension to this game where you don't need to kill, to destroy? When this was proposed, I thought about it. And the composition in this is very precise. That would you go and play with this game, and what happened to it, to your emotion? Would you keep it as a decoration because it makes a peace with you and balance of peace with you when you hold this, what we call figures in your hand and the table? The table is transparent, which allows the field dimension of the yin and yang, south pole and north pole, and it's deliberately made that way. And it's very interesting how, for example, there's another game with a backgammon, which you might see the same position. Would you change in the dimension as you hold this? You transfer different energy, different position in interaction of different fields. Go back to what I call the man who made this board game. The king asked, what do you need for such a thing? He said, put 1 grain of rice in the first square and then double it to the next one. And then that'll be the totality you can give me as a gift. And when they calculated and put all of the number of grains of rice, which came by multiplication of it, there was not enough grains in the what we call kingdom to give to the man. Now imagine every single one of these plus the what we call the pattern of the field of interaction creates such a diversity of the fields that in a way fulfills every energy of the man needed. I would like to know, those of you who get this board, how it'll change you, how you feel every time you touch one. And would it take you to the step to kill? It's the challenge of the soul. And this is why this year we went this way. And everything, even if you see those pendulum hanging, they're all filled with different field energies of the what we call peace and balance of the soul of the man and energy the man needs. Very interesting to see the outcome, how you as knowledge seekers will look at the what we call or feel after having these around you for 12 days. And even if you put it in a box in the house, it's still in different places, you create that environment in the house till next year. This is exactly what the communication unit with the plasmatic fields will do with the special antennas which gets added to it. But this time it's not the Christmas tree, it's the whole planet which will bring change to. Carry on, it's very interesting. Ornaments with a purpose, touching the soul of the man and man's emotion, which has never been done before.
And that was the Christmas mystery packs excerpt from the last workshop, and I'm sure we'll see and hear more about that in the following workshop coming up on Thursday, starting at 9 a.m. Central European Time. And now I believe I'll go back to our presentation. If I'm correct, it's time for transmutation. I believe that's with our transmutation friend, Mashfaq. Are you ready to go, Mashfaq?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. I didn't talk about transmutation last time, and because there was some, because you wanted to limit the time. But was it a limitation? Because I'm speaking for 2 weeks, and I introduced this idea or this sort of a image of a beautiful woman who made a beautiful dress with exquisite fringes 2 weeks back. So we will pick up on that and explore this a little further. Now, we'll start with the fringes. The fringes is the physicality side of it. Physicality, the expression of the creation as physicality. You can think of it as a lace. Many women do crochet and make laces of various kinds. They can even make tablecloths and things like that. But what is interesting about this fringe, such as laces, is that it's a collection of symmetric patterns. You can have flowers and things like that in there in a sort of like geometric form. Now, this is a very interesting idea that, these geometric forms, we see some of the more obvious or expressions of it is beehives, is an example of it. And we have this presence of this hexagonal pattern. And this hexagonal pattern exists on our skin and mixed with some pentagons. So this kind of symmetric pattern with certain structures transitioning to some other new structures, but the pattern is coherent, much like our laces. And this pattern even exists in the molecular structures of, let's say, iron or gold. I've talked about this elsewhere, but I won't go into that. But there we have all this kind of symmetric pattern transitioning from one symmetric pattern to another, and they're put together in a sort of like a, what do you call it, a tile type of structure. But the tile is not the same size or same shape tile. It's a set of tiles creating one pattern and then transitioning to another. And this gives us, it's essentially depicting the field structures of material existence. Perhaps the closest example that we can look at our skin. And although it's not visible to us in our eyes, at the scale we exist, but it is there. And our natural inclination towards this kind of pattern is evident in our appreciation for patterns like Tree of Life pattern, a collection of hexagonal patterns. Now, so as these patterns as material interact with us in our lives, we experience various things. Using copper material as various bracelets and charms, it does interact with us in the field level, with the physicality of ours, which has the dominant copper aspect to it, as we know from our copper oxide GaNs. So the physicality in its transmutation over time and its movement in various ways expresses the beauty of creation. And we all love it. You know, the material world has its charm and we feel it. But behind this material world, if we call it the lace pattern, there is the dress. There is the dress that it is attached to. And that's where the emotional aspect starts to shine. The emotional aspect, that is the interaction between physicality and soul of physicality. The dress, its many colors. But we only see those emotions or colors that are close to the fringe or the lace pattern. Because of our closeness or proximity to the physical existence of this lace, we don't see the full range of emotions, the emotion that spans further and reaches the whole dress, the dress that adorns the creator, the woman. So by being too close to this physicality, we can't see all of the emotion. But as we step further, a little further back from our attachment to these pattern of lace, we encounter emotions deeper, closer to our soul, the interaction between the dress and the woman, the emotions between the soul of physicality and the soul of man, the creator. So as these emotions come to us, we see beauties that we haven't thought of, imagined before. But the beauty we encounter here as a level that we can hardly imagine being too close to physicality. Being detached from the physicality, moving further back from it, seeing the dress, the emotions that interact at that level. It is a mesmerizing experience. And that's the beginning of knowing that there is more to this beauty than we have ever imagined. And that beauty is the woman. So we have to move a little bit further to appreciate that there exists a creator. And the creator, with all the emotion expressing into this movement in the lace, together is a level of beauty that is unimaginable at this stage. But sometimes don't we get some hint that there is more to this story than just the lace pattern? Indeed, there is. The dress of many colors, the emotions that span between physicality and the soul, the creator. It's amazing, and it's amazing to experience. Earlier we were talking about this consumption of food and, of various types. If you think about it, when we consume food, we are kind of become lethargic and, we can't work. And it's kind of like brings us, slows us down. This heaviness that we feel when we eat. Now, it's the same thing. These over attachment to physicality is something that holds us down. And those who have looked into like not eating for an extended period of time know that there is a feeling of freedom. It's just the beginning of these hints, of this appreciation of this beauty that lies further and further into the soul. The woman, the woman itself, the creator, or herself rather. But just like our detachment from the food or the physical consumption of food makes us appreciate finer capacities, emotions, and abilities that at this point is beyond our reach. But is it? It's not that far away. We have to step back a little, just a little bit, to appreciate the full beauty of the Creator in this beautiful dress, with its patterns of the laces. We don't have to abandon the physicality. We just have to put it in proper perspective, in a broader picture of the existence of Creator and its creation. And as we do it, our ability to be the Creator and create comes into operation. We feel all those colorful emotions that we are yet to reach. But we know deep in there that they're there for us to explore, for us to touch. And that touch is not the touch of physicality. That's the touch of the Creator that we long for in our dreams, in our desire to make the dreams a reality. Shall we move on from the physicality to our dreams, to our soul, and experience a range of emotions, a range of feelings that is so far beyond, and take the role of Creator that we so deserve. Thank you very much. That's all I had to say today. And anybody else wants to say anything, it would be great too.
Yes, my dear Moshfik, as a woman, talking about the laces, in my teenage, in the school, we have projects to do, small frocks and home science. That was called home science. And we used to do crochet work to make laces. And the laces are so beautiful. We make this tablecloths, chicosies, even TV covers. At that time, we used to have these TV covers of these laces, this crochet work, and they are so um, uh, harmonious. This crochet work is even like a spiral going on, like as you have mentioned, as you have said so beautifully that when it's like the laces are like jewels in the clothes, in the fabric of physicality, fabric of life and living. These laces are like this flower of life, spiraling, going, and and it creates this beauty like a jewel in the crown. I would say this so beautiful experiences we have with the laces. Now we can understand how we understand. We go simultaneously. We have this um, field strength of soul, the beauty, universal love, continuously of like these laces, the beautiful spiral and the beautiful uh, um, flower of life attached so harmonious, attached to the web of life and living. Still, we are in this connection always. The soul, like the lace, comes down the fields to have an intuition, have an peacefulness, have many things we have gone through these things, like a guidance, like a gift. As all the gifts so beautiful have shown, like the gift came. Oh my God, kind of that. So the laces are so beautiful that as a woman we understand. Oh, I have to be a lace for the beautifulness of this garment, and we have all that frocks and midis at that time, pants lining with the laces. And when we were young at that time, laces are the beauty. So, Moshfik, thank you. The spirituality, the soulfulness, the level of understanding, the peacefulness, the intuition, the guidance of the unified field of our beautiful souls and the soul of peace, the universal creator. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As we were also doing some meditation, as we do, or many of us do, and this linked with this spiral, the spiral like Lisa's. And now we can also, if this is so simple also, that anybody can do that, manifest that, because act is also very necessary. There is an intuition, there is a talking good, doing good, and then acting good. That is the manifestation, the magnetic field in the energy level, which has to be manifested. So, in this peaceful process, in this path of peace, we are manifesting all souls to be in love and kindness and, of course, abundance. And that is to be understood by everybody, every being. So thank you so much, Mashfik, my dear. Thank you so much. Salam, namaste, salute.
Thank you, Sweta. It's Dean here. I'd like to add a little bit if I can. So I've just been reading through the 616th Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and the transmutation. Mr. Keshe was saying that energy is equal to mass. And then it depends if you take that mass as a magnetic field in motion, so a magnetic field in motion, or if you take that as a stationary field, a condition, which would be like a matter, which would be inertia. So it's a stationary condition. And then if you were to use that to actually squeeze the energy of it, so if we squeeze the energy of the matter, we would create something like an energy wave, a pulse. And that pulse, as we know, we've spoken about this before, is it's in the pulse of the man through the blood. We know this. But there's also a pulse from the universe. And I think that some of the scientists at the moment have experienced this pulsing effect that we're receiving. When we understand that that is an energy which is in a plasmatic condition, so the pulse is the magnetic field that is creating the energy. The mass is basically, as I've just explained, what Mr. Keshe said, was a static condition. So the plasmatic condition is the pulse, is that that energy flow that comes towards us. When you feel there's many ways to describe this. If we go into the physical side of it, it'd be like a breeze on your face. If we understand the energy side of it, it would be that breeze on your face, but without the actual feeling of that. When you get that something suddenly enlightenment or that something happens to you that you receive an energy and you go, the light switches on and you suddenly understand something or you realize something. That condition is maybe, it could be an ecstatic condition. It could be the mass of the thought, using, the inertia of the brain, or it could be the pulse between the brain, the two hemispheres, and that could be the creation of that pulse that emanates across. And Mr. Keshe was making the point that this is to do with MC squared, and it has nothing to do with the light. So this, when you understand this energy transfer of energy equal to mass, you realize that the MC squared that we've been basing much of the sciences on for a very long time doesn't really make sense. And I know Mr. Keshe has been speaking about this quite a lot in today's transmission that we've received through all the the wonderful things that Rick's put forward for us to listen to. So we're understanding this field strength. So this pulse would create an emotion, and it's been explained many times by Mr. Keshe. That emotion can be, it could be love, or it could be something that is anger. But it's the same pulse, it's just a different field strength. So you can be in a position and you can receive the pulse of something very wonderful that happens within your structure, and it makes you feel in a certain way. Or it can create a different pulse, a different beat that creates the pulse that would then give us a stroke. We would create that not necessarily create the intention, but we would create the emotion that would then translate into a condition in the matter state, and that would be that inertia, the inertia of being static. And I think that many of us may have experienced this in our physical forms, when we understand that if you go into the energy is equal to mass, but we take it as a magnetic field in motion, the pulse, and we smooth the ripple effect, we smooth the ocean. We create a sympathetic way for the energy to flow without creating a big wave that then creates that mass to move in a way that is spread across the body. When we understand the soul is that pulse that is touching us in a different way. So it's not a touch as in a physical touch. This is in a plasmatic condition. This is the total of energy of itself. And that field has an energy, and that energy is present, as I spoke about earlier, all around us, throughout the whole physical being and non-being. So in the in the non-tangible and tangible way, it radiates through all of us. It's a bit like when we get all these rays that come from the sun, they pass straight through the earth. They pass through all of us. They keep going on, and they don't stop. So when we come to understand this, we get this transmutation of time, and we can understand this as we can stand still and feel it in the pulse of the energy that's static in the physical form, or we can let it flow on and out and continue for it to let it release and be present, and that never ends. That's an eternal energy flow that keeps going out and then coming back in, a bit like a torus, a field of energy that creates pulses around and then feeds back on itself. So it's that never-ending cycle of creation, the creation of all, the totality of creation. So that is, for me, is a transmutation of a little bit of what Mr. Keshe has been explaining to us, and my little bit of understanding of a tiny fraction of it. And hopefully we will, all of us, come to the understanding of this equation of energy is equal to mass in a most beautiful transmutation of time, place, and position in this moment. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Sweater. Thank you, Rick. I don't know if anybody else would like to say something. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take by the silence. That would be a no for now. Let's move on to our needs and wishes, perhaps.
Yes,
No.
needs and wishes, my dear Rick. Thank you, beautiful souls. Before the needs and wishes, any question or any sharing, my dear Rick? And if there is, so much welcome.
Let me check on the YouTube here. There was one question in the YouTube about when one of us was talking about the workshop, I guess, and Mr. Keshe is talking and so on. The question is, well, it's in Portuguese, and it translates to, roughly at least, where did you get that conclusion from, Mr. It says Mr. 2626. I'm not sure what that represents. Somebody that was speaking.
This question is confusing, not clear. So how
Well,
can we answer that?
it says, according to the teachings, you or any of us are just as much the Messiah as he is. So maybe it was something Mark was saying earlier about that we are the Messiah or something like that. Maybe there's some confusion about this idea that Mr. Keshe has told us that we are the Messiah as much as he is, basically.
As you know, Rick, the words in this physicality has been manipulated so much. And if you say Messiah, if you say soul, if you say spirituality, it has been manipulated so much that understanding properly is so. If you have this ability to understand that what Messiah is, a messenger, what you have to understand by your own ability. That is and the soul is the guide for you. And don't go on the words. Don't go on the words. Even if you say I love you, it seems so manipulative, as we have gone through this I love you system. So be in clarity, my dear, and everybody is a teacher of our own self. So be guided by yourself, by your own true self, my dear. Receive the knowledge, give the knowledge. That is the way it is. These words are manipulated thousands of years. So understand the universal love, search, be in peace, my dear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for question.
Wise words, Shweta. Thank you very much. Anybody else care to weigh in on that, or shall we pass?
Rick, I can say something. So it's a great question, and Mr. Keshe explains it as in a very beautiful way, as he always does. And he says that yes, he claims I am the Messiah, but so are you, so are we all, because we have a part of it within us. So it's a belief, it's an understanding, and the understanding is growing, and the field strength is growing exponentially all across, in every single way, every direction, not just on a field strength of through the, the understanding of looking at some words on a written on a page and taking that as gospel, whatever that means. It's an expansion of that. It's understanding that it's multi-directional, it's 360, and it encompasses a total sphere of influence, of beauty. You are the Messiah of yourself. You yourself. You have a direct connection to the Creator. You, as Mr. Keshe said many times, you do not need a middleman. Your understanding has been given to you by by these teachings of that have been given across the planet. There's nothing wrong with that. We needed to absorb that and to understand that to get to this point, this moment. Now in this moment, we've started to understand the teachings that are being given by universal souls that have understood something beyond this. They're understanding more. It's not just in a physical position. It's in a magnetic field in motion. And it's different. It is the soul of man. And when you really start to absorb it, instead of having analogies we can use, you empty your cup and your cup's full, so you can't let anything else in. But it's, to a certain extent, it's very true that we have to be open and we have to allow other qualities of, of the essence to become part of us, because all of it, every single word that's spoken, everything we receive, everything that we do is all from the Creator. So it's all put in the pot, and we have to take from it, according to our understanding, as Mr. Keshe would say. So if your intention and and you're open and you allow it to receive, the soul will guide you, will become part of that essence of the pulse that will emanate through you and guide you into the right positions. And if you listen to that little voice in your head, whatever it may be for you, understand that you have the capabilities to make it static or in motion. And you can limit yourself and place yourself in one position, and you can stay there for as long as you wish. Or you can open yourself and allow the Creator to embrace and to give to you whatever you would like to call it, elevation, knowledge, wisdom, beauty. It's entirely your choice. But remember, once we lose the physicality, we become part of the totality, whether we, whatever we do. So at some time you're going to experience this, you're going to understand this. And these teachings are on a soul basis to make us really understand, the creation point, that energy in motion, the Creator. And because it's throughout the whole of all the matters and throughout the energy flow, which is the space gap between, which is where the real beauty takes place, then we really have no choice. We are all part of it, and we're all in this together. That's why we say, in these needs and wishes, we, the Universal Council, give through our souls that Russia and Ukraine can find peace for the sake of all the families of the planet. And we speak these words with intention to create this peace, so we all understand, in our own way, the knowledge of the beauty of the Creator that is being passed through the foundation, through Mr. Keshe and his beautiful teachings.
Rick, this time it is 30 seconds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal. Our wish is our command.
We, the Universal Council, elevate the soul of the leaders and the population throughout the American continent to live in harmony, respecting each nation as equal.
I think we did that one already, but go on here.
Okay, I'll say that one. Then we, the Universal Council, give from our soul for protection of those living in fear in natural disaster areas, and our soul wish to help cover all emotional and physical needs.
We, the Universal Council, give freely from our soul to elevate the soul of the leaders to achieve peace in the Middle East. Now, our wish is our command. We are present.
Okay, I need to double check. I think we missed one here. Did we do this one? That's
Yes,
actually
yes.
the first one. Okay.
Yeah. We, the Universal Council, elevate the souls of the leaders involved in conflicts in Sudan and other areas only by greed with unconditional love and inner peace, so that they respect the lives of all population because they are sovereign and free. Our wish is our command. We are present.
Okay, and I need to clarify on the question that I brought up in Portuguese. I see now that that was Paulo, and he was responding to Senior 2626, who had a previous comment that was also in, I'm not sure if it was French or Portuguese, and it obviously is about whether Mr. Keshe says he is the Messiah. And then that was Paulo's response, is that yes, he says he's the Messiah, but that you are too. So thank you for that, Paulo, and thank you for all the answers from the Universal Council folks as well. All right.
I'm sorry. I need an next at that point. In 2 weeks ago, you shared the video from the 520 and 520 and 513 little extras explain all things about what happened. Your prophet, your Messiah. Maybe it's better go and listen again and maybe understand more about that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for that hint, Lucy. Okay, if there's no further things, we can move to the end of our program here, I guess.
Yes, yes. Thank you. For now, it is. So, well, my dear beautiful souls, we have to detach from by living in the sum of all fears. We have to live now in this newness where all the sum is about peace, love, and beauty and totality. So, we are here to serve, not to be served, beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Suswagatam into the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute organization. Welcome, welcome to the beautiful energy of all souls in existence and so universal, unique, so welcoming all that is in presence now. The universal community, the humanity, Mother Earth, and all that is in beauty. So live in peace always, my dear. Thank you so much. And it's the Universal Council. Salam, namaste.
And it's time for say thank you so much, all beautiful souls of Keshe family, for all the time unified with us, for elevate the soul of the leaders and elevate all souls around you. Because when you go to unify to the others, you help others and you help all around you to illuminate too, for continue growing, because we are the soul of peace. Thank you so much.
All right, very good. Okay, that brings to a close our 405th One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. here on Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Thank you to the members and support members of the Universal Council for putting together this program and doing the work in the background, both in the physicality and on the soul level, to be the ambassadors to the universal community. And okay, that's it for today's program. Our next public teaching workshop will be the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which starts at 7 a.m. on Wednesday, November 19th, Central European Time, 7 a.m. And we go for several hours discussing things of the plasma nature and look at various contributions that people make in terms of images and videos of their projects and various questions and comments they might have. So it's a good place to sort things out like that, and we deal with a variety of topics under the name of plasma. Okay, and of course, the Knowledge Seekers Workshop coming up Thursday. That'll be the 20th of November, and that starts at the 9 a.m. Central European Time. Of course, with Mr. Keshe with the latest news and teachings from the Keshe Foundation. Okay,
Okay, as
about it.
your mouse was slipping, jumping. So how about some jumping dance?
It's about it, except for one little detail, which is an important one, to go out with a bit of smiling and clapping and dancing, as we say.
Clapping and dancing, beautiful souls. Be enjoy always. Thank you.
So may you clap and dance your way through the day and be happy no matter what happens. Okay, take care, everyone. We'll see you next time around.